Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories. My name is Matt. I know this podcast is quite new, but some of you have been following along for a while now. As you may have noticed, the narrator has changed a couple of times already in just a few months. The truth is, the podcast has been growing extremely slow, and basically nobody has left us any reviews so far. I'm here as the new voice of the podcast and would love to stick around, but I need your support to do so. Please, if you enjoy our content, it would mean so much to us if you could just leave us a review on whichever podcast platform you use. Now, take a deep breath and let's begin tonight's story.
Welcome, dear listener, to Deep Sleep Stories. Thank you for choosing this moment to rest, to find a place where your thoughts can drift like fallen leaves on a gentle autumn breeze. The day behind you may have held its share of worries, triumphs, or simply the hum of ordinary life. But now as you settle in, feel the soft hush of evening filling your room. Perhaps you notice the subtle weight of your blanket, the comforting darkness, and that welcoming quiet that signals it's time to let go of the day. Feel the calm grow with each slow breath, breathing in the cool, cleansing air, and exhaling any tension that still lingers. With every cycle of your breath, you sink just a bit deeper into restfulness, preparing your heart and mind for tonight's tale. In a moment, you'll be invited to journey into a tranquil realm where autumn's golden light and soft rains cloak a magical fairy grove. Let each breath carry you closer to that place where a soothing lullaby of nature welcomes you into a hush of falling leaves. Now allow yourself to drift on the rhythm of your own breathing. Notice how the tension from the day dissolves like mist beneath a gently rising sun. As you inhale, feel a soothing warmth spread through your chest, and as you exhale, sense any tightness slip away, leaving only a serene silence. There is nothing else you need to do but rest. There is nowhere else you need to be but here. Let the story unfold in your mind's eye, letting the details, sounds, and sensations flow easily around you. Soon, you'll find yourself in a secluded grove, imbued with the essence of autumn. Let the last remnants of the day float away, carried on the soft hush of each exhale. You may close your eyes or let them gently fall shut as you prepare to travel, drifting away from thoughts of today and into a story that will cradle you in the quiet hush of a world touched by golden leaves and gentle rain. Far from the hurried world of busy days and schedules, a wandering soul steps into the heart of autumn. They are neither pressed by time nor burdened by care. The forest around them shimmers with seasonal beauty, its towering trees dressed in robes of crimson, orange, and soft gold. The air is cool but not cold, as though the entire grove has been carefully tempered by a mild sun, ensuring every leaf that drifts from the branches does so with quiet grace. A gentle breeze, almost like a soothing sigh, passes through the towering oaks and slender birch trees, setting them swaying in a slow, wistful dance. If one listens closely, there's a faint whisper of wind weaving through the leaves, a hush that seems to say, stay a while and rest your mind here. A scatter of leaves drifts across a narrow path, each one swirling in a languid spiral before settling on the soft earth. Overhead, the sky is a pale blue, tinted by the late afternoon light that grows softer, more golden by the moment. Gradually, the gentle hush of falling leaves becomes a rhythmic lullaby to accompany each step. In the hush of this forest realm, with canopy light filtering down in dappled beams, the world feels unhurried. Each pause brings only the rustle of tree branches and the hushed sigh of a hidden breeze. Even the birds, perched high in the canopy, call in low melodic chirps, as if guiding the traveler deeper into the soothing tranquility of the woods. Now, as the traveler follows a narrow trail curving along the hillside, the soft patter of rain begins. It's not a heavy downpour nor a sudden squall. Instead, it's a gentle tapping of droplets against crisp leaves, like a quiet conversation between the sky and the earth. The traveler pauses to appreciate the peacefulness of this gentle rain. There is no urgency here, no rush to reach a destination. In this forest of drifting leaves and subtle percussion, the rain feels like a lullaby. Its drops fall slowly, drawing intricate patterns on the ground, splashing lightly against stones and gathering in tiny pools among the tree roots. The traveler lifts their face to the sky, allowing a few droplets to land softly on their cheeks. A comforting coolness that only deepens the sense of calm. Not far from the path, hidden behind a cluster of mossy boulders and fern-fringed trunks, lies a secret nook. At first glance, it might seem like just another glade in the woods, but there is a hush to the space and a subtle glow that sets it apart. A luminous hue, soft as candlelight, seems to emanate from the moss and leaves themselves, beckoning the traveler forward. The traveler steps off the main trail and is surprised by how the canopy above opens just a little, allowing faint beams of light to grace the clearing. Raindrops glisten like tiny jewels on the tips of leaves, capturing the last glimmers of daylight. Here, the interplay of light and water creates an ever-changing tapestry. Little rainbows that appear and vanish at the corners of the traveler's vision. In this enchanted grove, the forest floor feels springy and inviting beneath the traveler's feet. Layers of fallen leaves, cushioned by soft moss, create a natural carpet that hushes footsteps. The aroma in the air is both earthy and sweet, a soft medley of damp leaves, fresh rain, and the faint perfume of autumn flowers. The gentle fragrance envelops the traveler like a comforting shawl, warming them from within even as the rain softly continues. And then, almost in response to the traveler's awe, the forest grows stiller, as though recognizing the presence of a guest who has come in search of peace. A quiet hush settles in, broken only by the soft drip of water and the delicate stirring of leaves in the breeze. At the far edge of the clearing stands a grand maple tree. Its bark is lined with age-old grooves, and its branches stretch wide, sporting leaves so brilliantly hued they seem to glow from within. This tree appears to be the guardian of the grove, its trunk standing as a kind and steadfast sentinel amid the swirl of falling leaves. Beneath its branches is a hollow, half hidden by fronds of feathery moss and a cluster of ferns. The hollow is just large enough for a small firefly or a curious woodland creature to pass through, and though it might appear unremarkable to those who simply glance at it, the traveler senses there is something special about this hidden space. As twilight gently steals over the forest, the soft light begins to shift. The traveler approaches the maple's trunk, drawn to the hollow where a hint of radiance glimmers. It's not bright, not at all harsh or glaring, but a subtle glow that shimmers like starlight on water. When the traveler bends to look more closely, they see a tiny clearing beyond, as though the trunk has opened into a secret realm. This realm is calm, bathed in the warm glow of lanterns that appear to be fashioned from dried leaves and soft threads of spider silk. Within this hidden space there are no abrupt sounds, only the same gentle patter of rain, the hush of leaves brushing against one another, and the quiet lull of forest life settling down for evening. Peering through, the traveler feels a gentle invitation. Perhaps it's the flicker of lanterns or the soft swirl of autumn air beckoning from beyond. The traveler steps quietly around the trunk, and as they circle to the other side, they find a wide archway formed by tangled branches and vines. Soft luminescence outlines the arch, as if small luminous creatures gather there to gently light the way. Stepping beneath it, they find themselves in a clearing like no other. A fairy grove that seems alive with a kind of gentle magic, full of tiny lights bobbing along in the damp air, their glow reminiscent of fireflies at dusk. In the heart of this grove, the trees form a ring, their branches curled into a natural dome that shelters all beneath from heavier rainfall. Fallen leaves, some just turning golden and others a deep russet, scatter over the ground in swirling, hypnotic patterns whenever the breeze stirs. The traveler notices clusters of mushrooms topped with glistening raindrops and patches of moss that shimmer faintly. It's as though every living thing here has absorbed autumn's gentle enchantment. The hush carries within it a delicate melody, almost imperceptible. Now and then, a clear note like a bell can be heard, followed by the soft chiming of raindrops on overlapping leaves. At one edge of the grove, a small stream meanders. Its waters run clear, rippling over smooth stones. Whenever a leaf drifts onto its surface, it floats lazily, dancing across the gentle current. Beside this stream sits a low, flat rock. Velvet-like moss covers its surface, creating a plush seat. The traveler, still unhurried, settles upon it, letting the murmur of water and the patter of rain lull them into even deeper restfulness. They run a hand along the moss, marveling at its softness. The moment feels timeless, as if the traveler has stepped out of the usual flow of hours and minutes and into a space where night approaches slowly, clad in the welcoming hush of falling leaves. The gentle rain continues, never heavy, never rushing, just a soothing drizzle that hushes the sounds of the outside world. Little droplets gather at the ends of leafy canopies, falling with a soft plip into tiny puddles below. A content sigh escapes the traveler's lips as they lean forward, peering into the stream's surface. It is as though they glimpse a reflection of not just themselves, but the story of the forest, carried in the ripples and gently carried away downstream. The smell of damp earth and the faint sweetness of decaying leaves feel comforting, like a lullaby woven by nature's hands. Gradually, small shapes emerge on the periphery of the grove, tiny figures, scarcely taller than a toadstool, flit between the roots and moss patches. These are the autumn fairies, each one dressed in shimmering garments, reminiscent of flower petals or woven spider silk, dyed by the sunset's glow. Their wings glisten in the faint light, reflecting the lantern glow in tiny rainbow arcs. Though shy by nature, the fairies appear curious about their visitor. They come forward in gentle, tentative steps, their feet making no sound on the soft forest floor. One fairy with coppery hair and a gown of golden leaves ventures closer. An expression of kind curiosity lights her delicate features. As she floats near the traveler, a sense of warmth emanates from her presence, as though she embodies the gentle spirit of autumn itself. With a graceful bow, the golden leaf fairy greets the traveler, her voice whisper soft, blending with the hush of raindrops. Although her words might be in a language woven from ancient forest breezes, their meaning seeps into the traveler's heart like morning dew. She seems to say, "Welcome to our secret grove. Rest among us. Let the forest cradle your worries and lull you into gentle dreams." Then, as if to confirm her invitation, she circles in a slow, spiraling dance, beckoning a few other fairies from the safety of the ferns. They flutter forward, each carrying a tiny lantern or a delicate leaf instrument. When they play their instruments, the music floats on the air, scarcely louder than a breath, yet full of soft harmonies that resonate with the rustle of leaves and the patter of rain. The fairies' movements are slow and fluid, matching the serene pace of autumn twilight. They lead the traveler further into the grove, toward a spot where a gnarled old oak stands. Its trunk is hollowed out at the base, forming a cozy hollow that glows from within. Inside, a gentle amber radiance flickers, perhaps from tiny flame-like lights or from the innate magic of the tree itself. Stepping closer, the traveler notices that the oak's interior, though small, is arranged like a miniature parlor. Cushions woven from dried grasses line the floor, and the walls are decorated with pressed leaves in intricate patterns. The entire space feels like an invitation to sit, to rest, to let the hush of the grove settle into weary limbs and a busy mind. A faint rustling sound draws attention to an even more hidden corner of the grove. There, among the roots of another great tree, A soft luminescence appears. Wisps of mist curl around the base, revealing a small arch of mushrooms that seems to form a natural doorway. One by one, fairies slip through this mushroom arch, carrying small vessels that emit gentle light. As the fairies gather, the traveler senses their collective presence, a calming, rhythmic unity. They move like a chorus of nightingales, though their voices remain hush-quiet, never intruding upon the greater lullaby of the forest. It is as if the entire space has been woven from threads of serenity, a tapestry where every leaf, raindrop, and breath adds to the gentle hush. At the center of the grove, near a circle of pale stones, the fairies begin to sprinkle tiny petals onto the ground, each petal a different shade of autumn: burnt orange, deep burgundy, soft yellow. The petals twirl in the air, carried by the slightest breeze, and then settle quietly in patterns that look almost ceremonial. The traveler watches, transfixed by this delicate, unhurried dance. It is as though they have been invited to witness a secret, sacred tradition, a nod to the season, the rain, and the comforting darkness that will soon envelop the forest. The fairies form a circle around the traveler, each holding a delicate lantern that flickers like a miniature candle flame. They sway gently, movements in tune with the raindrops and the soft hush of wind in the branches above. With every step, every wave of those gossamer wings, the lullaby in the air becomes a physical presence. The traveler feels it humming softly along their skin, soothing taut muscles, whispering to every corner of the mind to release the tension of the day. The hush is gentle and pervasive, allowing no room for restlessness. Even the persistent mind that sometimes whirs with day-to-day concerns finds no foothold here. The mild hush seems to cradle every thought, coaxing it to slow down, to fade into the background, replaced by the tender hush of the forest. As evening deepens, the rain begins to ease. Droplets continue to fall from leaves overhead, but the patter grows softer, more intermittent. The sky overhead transforms into a tapestry of dusky blues and muted purples, hinting at stars that might appear when the clouds drift away. The fairies drift about with their lanterns, weaving them in slow arcs through the air, illuminating pockets of the grove. Shadows form and disappear in a rhythmic dance, soothing to watch, as though the forest itself breathes in and out. The traveler's eyelids feel heavier, lulled by the sweet hush of the ongoing lullaby. The traveler leans back against a soft patch of moss near the broad trunk of the ancient oak, letting the damp, earthy scent fill their senses. In the quiet, they observe how the grove's colors have shifted from golden oranges and reds to more subdued, moonlit silvers. Small beads of moisture cling to leaves, glinting faintly in the glow of fairy lanterns. Now and then, a gentle breeze stirs them, and the droplets slip down to the ground with a delicate sound. The fairies themselves have begun to slow their dances, moving in dreamy arcs, some of them alight on nearby toadstools or rest on branches, their wings folding in quiet contentment. In this tranquil setting, time seems to stretch like taffy, elongated and warm. A calm envelops the grove, the traveler, and all who dwell in this hidden woodland realm. Even the late hour brings no sense of urgency. Instead, it carries a promise of deep, healing rest. The forest floor is soft and welcoming, layered with fallen leaves that cushion movement and hush every sound. The leaves, too, have their own gentle presence. Each one is a small tapestry of autumn's final glow. Together they form a living quilt that nurtures both weary travelers and tiny fairy creatures alike. Slowly, the traveler's eyes begin to close, only to flutter open again to catch one more glimpse of the fairy lights. Their heart feels warm, like it's been wrapped in a gentle embrace. Old cares, those faint echoes of the world outside, melt away, leaving only a pleasant quiet. The hush in the grove deepens, and the forest's night chorus stirs. A distant owl calling softly, a sporadic drip of water from leaf to leaf, and the whispered footsteps of small creatures looking for a place to nest. A sense of oneness settles over everything, as though the traveler, the fairies, the trees, and the night sky have seamlessly blended into a single lullaby. A gentle hush descends further, drawing the traveler's attention to the flickering lanterns. Their light grows softer, each glow pulsing like a calm heartbeat. The fairies gather in smaller groups, some humming soft tunes, others simply resting in the crooks of branches. Lulled by the hush, the traveler draws a slow, deep breath and releases it into the quiet, feeling each muscle begin to relax. It's as if the body recognizes this place as a haven, a sanctuary where nothing is demanded except surrender to the soothing ambiance of autumn's last embrace. The rain has nearly stopped now, reduced to an occasional drip that rings out like a tiny chime. The air is fresh and clean, imbued with that comforting scent that arises after a light rain in a forest. A small swirl of mist drifts through the grove, curling around tree trunks in wispy tendrils, creating soft veils of pearly gray that dance across the lantern light. The traveler notices the fairy with the coppery hair. She remains a gentle presence perched on a low branch close by. She raises her eyes to meet the traveler's gaze, and a tender smile forms upon her features. Her expression seems to speak a silent message that this hush, this safe, serene place, is always here in the quiet corners of the mind, waiting to offer rest. As the deeper hours of night approach, a new sound emerges, the softest trickle of a hidden waterfall, its gentle flow blending into the hush of the grove. Encouraged by the quiet, the traveler stands, guided by a faint, silvery glow filtering through the trees. The fairies, like silent guides, accompany them to a secluded edge of the grove, where a small cascade tumbles over rocks into a narrow pool. The water's surface ripples softly, its color a dark mirror reflecting ghostly outlines of the towering trees and faint stars above. The cascade itself is delicate, no more than a playful trickle, but its song is pure and comforting. The traveler kneels by the edge, dipping fingertips into the cool water, as if to feel a final soothing touch of nature's lullaby. Droplets slip away, leaving behind a sense of grounding and peace. At length, the fairies guide the traveler back toward the center of the grove, where a bed of soft leaves and moss awaits. Overhead, the canopy of branches opens slightly, revealing a sky that is slowly showing stars. The clouds from earlier have thinned out, and through the parted branches, the faint shimmer of starlight bathes the clearing. A hush of gratitude seems to emanate from every surface, from the moss, from the stones, from the leaves that have shared their brilliance. It's as if the traveler has entered a realm of suspended dreams, where nothing is hurried or forced, where even the passing of time is a soft hush rather than a relentless march. Gently, the traveler reclines on this earthy bed, a soft rustle of leaves adding a final note to the day's lullaby. The fairies gather around, their little lanterns glowing like miniature moons, warm and tender. They do not speak. They do not need to. Their presence alone carries the reassurance of a nighttime vigil, as if they will keep watch while the traveler sinks into the arms of deep rest. The hush of the grove settles into the traveler's chest, slowing each breath, easing every muscle. A sense of pleasant heaviness spreads, turning each limb weightless in its calm. The hush inside the traveler's mind grows profound, like a vast, starry sky free of worry. Before long, the fairies' lanterns too begin to dim. Their glow recedes gently, melding with the darkness in a gradual fade rather than an abrupt stop. It is a nurturing darkness, embroidered with the glimmer of stars far above, and the faint, luminous glow of the fairies' wings, still visible here and there. The traveler's eyelids flutter and close, drawn gently into the soothing calm. The hush, once an external presence, has seeped fully into the traveler's being, transforming into a soft, internal serenity. Even the distant owl calls have faded into a softer echo, weaving seamlessly into the dreamlike hush. The forest itself seems to exhale a long, slow sigh, as though settling down for the night's rest along with its visitor. The hush is complete now, wrapping the traveler in a gentle blanket of warm acceptance. In this quiet, even the drifting leaves sound like whispers from a kind dream. The world outside the grove recedes into a gentle haze, unimportant and far away. Here in this fairy realm of autumn, all is well, all is calm, and the faint hush promises a night of peaceful slumber, cradled by the forest floor, lulled by the slow, steady heartbeat of the grove. The traveler allows the softness to guide them into a warm, heavy sleep. All around them the fairies watch with gentle smiles, their ancient eyes reflecting the cyclical patterns of nature, the turning of the leaves, the coming of winter, and the promise of renewal beyond. The hush of the evening is a gentle vow that every busy day will find its night of rest, Every burden will find its reprieve, and every wandering soul will someday discover a place of perfect stillness. Tonight, that hush reigns supreme, weaving itself into every breath, every tiny movement of wing or leaf, every subtle shift of starlight overhead. The drizzle has passed entirely now, leaving behind only the comforting memory of its patter. Within the magical hush, the traveler's consciousness drifts, floating between the boundary of gentle awareness and the sweetest of dreams. The hush soaks into their thoughts so that each one slows, unravels, and quietly dissolves into the tranquil darkness. The last memory of the day is the soft hush of the fairies' lullaby, a lullaby that seems to resonate through the earth and the night sky, a lullaby meant for any who wander into this hidden realm in need of rest. In the presence of such calm, there is nothing left to do except rest, letting the hush become a lull that draws the traveler into the depths of a serene, healing sleep. The stars overhead twinkle faintly through the canopy, their light dancing among the leaves. The fairies nestle close, content to share their grove with a gentle visitor. The hush continues to cradle them all, suspending the moment in tender quietude. Soon, even the fleeting awareness of the hush dims, and the traveler surrenders fully to the night's tender embrace, carried away on the lullaby of an autumn fairy grove. So, within this deep and peaceful slumber, the traveler finds absolute rest. Nothing is left undone. Nothing is left unresolved. The hush has gently enveloped every care, whispering that all is well in this moment. The forest stillness, the warm glow of fairy lanterns, and the softness of falling leaves, these form the gentle tapestry of rest that, like a cherished memory, lives on in the traveler's dreams. The timeless hush pervades the entire grove, ensuring that every creature, from the smallest mushroom sprite to the watchful old trees, knows the deep comfort of the night. Now allow the hush to move through you as well, gently guiding your own thoughts to rest. Feel the quiet kindness of this realm surrounding you, reminding you that you too can let go of the busy demands of the day. A soft sigh of wind in the branches overhead becomes your lullaby. Each breath you take brings you further into that soft, welcoming place. As the hush grows, let it become the sole presence in your mind, like the gentle hum of distant rainfall, lulling you into a state of warmth and calm. Ease your shoulders, let your jaw loosen, allow your gaze to soften or remain behind closed eyelids. The hush knows the way to the deepest rest. In these final moments before you drift away entirely, let your breathing slow. Imagine each inhalation drawing in the subtle glow of fairy lanterns, a light that comforts and soothes from within. With each exhalation, let go of any last tension, any lingering bits of thought that might keep you from sinking deeper. This is your space now, a place of quiet joy and timeless ease. The hush holds you securely as the grove holds the traveler, wrapping you in a gentle quiet. There's a softness all around, a blanket of leaves and moss, a lullaby woven from the breath of the forest. Surrender to it, letting sleep unfold like a tender bloom in darkness. Good night, dear traveler. May the hush cradle you in gentle arms, guiding you ever deeper into calm. May the drifting leaves and the silken rain lull you with their soft voice. Sleep well, and let the hush of this quiet realm remain with you, a reminder that peace and rest are always within reach. Let the hush envelop your dreams, gently cushioning every thought, until at last you surrender to the calm that brings renewal and sweet, unbroken slumber. Good night, dear traveler. Sleep well.